All right. Hey, it's Doug Huntington from Niche Site Project, and I want to introduce my secret partner, Rob. So you'll remember Rob Atkinson from many different posts. We did a big coaching session a couple years ago, and it turns out we're good buddies and we're partners on this. So welcome, Rob. Thanks for joining me today.
Doug, thanks for having me.
And we basically have just been keeping it under wraps for a little while. And I sort of bugged you, and I wanted you to not be anonymous, so you could join in the fun for this 500K niche site case study. So thanks for revealing your identity here. There's a plane flying over, I guess. So we'll hold
on. Sorry about that. They fly right over our apartment, so
that's all right. And where are you at these days?
Back in Chiang Mai, Thailand. So
cool. So it's nighttime.
Hanging out here.
Cheers. I'm drinking a coffee right now, but we're gonna do a virtual cheers.
I got myself a beer here.
Nice. So let's get into it. We're kind of gonna do a fairly brief update, but let's talk about how I guess the site got started, and then hopefully we'll kind of bring me into the picture too, since I'm in the picture now. So tell us about the site.
Yeah, it was actually like a month after I quit my job. It was like one of the first or second sites that I built after that. And this was October 2014. And I remember like a month later looking at the site, and this is back when I only had one real successful site. And I was just looking at the pages, and I was just like, man, is this ever going to do anything? When you build a site and you still have that doubt that it's ever going to do anything, and then take it back to when you have no prior track record, so you absolutely don't think this thing's going to succeed at all. And just fast forward a couple years, actually a year to December 2015, the site starts really picking up. And then the spring of 2016, it even goes crazier to the summer. And then it was powered with PBNs. And so I was thinking, hey, this thing's starting to really earn quite a bit. I'm interested in selling it. I want to flip it. And when you try to flip with PBNs, you're going to limit the amount of buyers you can have interested in the sale, and the valuation is going to be a little bit lower. So I said, I need to get this thing to white hat. Who do I know? Doug's my guy.
Cool. Yeah. And I was going to say, I remember, was it when you started this site, right? Was that when you and I were in a mastermind group, or was it in the same time frame?
Yeah. So we started like a mastermind, I think August of 2014, and then I started it 2 months later. So yeah.
Gotcha. And I definitely remember when you had some issues after you quit your job and you were moving, and a lot of changes, and you kind of started at ground zero. So one key thing that you mentioned is this site, right? So this site made what was it, over 32,000 in December, right?
32 and change and something, yeah, for December.
Okay. And but 2 years before, you launched it, and you were like, is this site going to even work, right?
That's the crazy part, yeah.
It's cool because I still feel the same. If I'm starting a new site, you don't know if it's going to work, and I guess everyone, especially newer folks to niche sites, they'll experience the same thing, and they just don't know if it's going to work. You don't believe it until all of a sudden, lightning strikes. So
yeah,
it's very cool.
And it's a lot worse when you're first starting, because you literally have nothing to compare against. So you sort of, I felt at the time, I felt pretty hopeless. I'm like, this is just, how is this going to work?
Yeah. So you brought me on, and it took us a little while to iron out some of the sort of partnership details. Obviously, at that point in time when I came on, the site was probably worth, between 150 and maybe 200K, would you say? So
Fair,
obviously, not anything that we should take lightly. I mean, if you look at an actual brick and mortar business, that's a legit business. That valuation is a legit business. So That was a little difficult. I've never, worked on anything like that. From my perspective, I think since we're friends, we knew each other, like we were just really fair about it. I mean, how did you come to that, I guess, like negotiation table?
Yeah, I think you hit it perfectly. Like, first of all, we're friends. I think we're both generally pretty fair people. Like when we talk about it with each other, we both want to obviously get an agreement down, put in numbers. You have to do that at any level, whether you're the best of friends or not. But we wanted it to work. We didn't want to screw each other over, and so I feel like our negotiations are very natural, and we always seem to like find a place that will make it work.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, we never actually signed anything. We just have like a few documents that manage the agreement. So, hopefully nothing
That's
weird will happen.
that's
So,
pretty yeah.
but
Pretty
yeah,
good trust, right?
yeah. And I think like, even months into it, we're still treating it the same way. We're actually we'll come to it in a minute, but I mean, we still have negotiations going on around, certain areas of, continuing on in the project. So, and I guess let's back up, earlier in the project. So we sort of like, for me, one of the interesting parts was to sort of just brainstorm what we were going to do, like the possibilities of like what would happen. And eventually we just looked at a couple like main areas where it was, really, get guest posts, get rid of the PBN links, and then improve existing content and then add more. And we just kept it like very simple. We probably threw out at least four other like ideas of like what we could do. Can you think of anything else that we like did early on like that, forming
No,
the
I think you hit
project?
every. I think you hit everything. If I think of something, I'll let you know.
Okay. And then, we got started pretty fast. Like the guest posting team did really well. And then we hit a brick wall. Um, I haven't asked you this before, but like, are you concerned and have you been concerned about the progress that we're making on the guest posting front?
Like, so we're trying to kind of like ramp it up to a newer level. I don't know if that's something that's been shared on your publicly yet, but
Right.
so like that next level, I do have a little bit of concern hitting our original targets. Like I feel like that's has always been within reach,
Hmm.
but yeah, for the most part, yes. But as we have pulled away some PBNs, we're starting to see some ranking changes. So
Right.
we know we need to take it to the next level and just, getting there. That's where a little bit of concern right now.
Okay. I'm concerned too. So it's good that we have the same outlook on it. However, one thing that we have been doing, right, is looking at just improving what we were, improving the system that we were like doing guest posting with, right? So it's a lot of stuff that I publish on the blog. And the flaw, one of the reasons why I think things slowed down, I was trying to do, this is the guest posting side, right, is the part that I own. So the issue, I think, is I kept trying to do the same things more, right? And I might be able to squeeze, 10% more efficiency and effectiveness and get a little bit more. But we're talking about essentially doubling our initial like set of guest posts to ensure that we don't lose rankings. So when you're talking about like doubling or like 5xing something, you can't just like add more people or like do more
Right.
of something, right? You have to approach it from a different area and like, think about it differently. So, over a couple weeks I've been brainstorming, different ways to do it. We've talked about it a little. One of the things that I haven't wrote about this either is, a lot of people look at guest posting, where they try and find contributor pages or write for us. I don't like that because so many people do it. So I have a slightly different way where I just look for active blogs, right? Pretty simple, just find active blogs. One of the ideas that I'm thinking of is to approach like businesses and that sort of thing where they will, I mean, they have like websites, but maybe they don't have like much content out there. So it's an area where it's not crowded. It's not a crowded channel. I may get a lot of no's. I have no idea if it'll work, but it's something different that, I don't see other people even trying to do. So anyway, I hope I'm like I said, I'm concerned too, but I hope with like some fresh ideas and like I'll actually be in the trenches, right? Like doing some of the guest posting and doing the outreach, contacting, calling companies maybe, and seeing if they need help on the content side is one, it'll help me figure out like what works and doesn't work. But I have done a lot of guest posting, so I should be as fast or faster and better maybe than my team that's working on it. So one would hope. So I am trying to think if there's any like other cool things about our arrangement or just the partnership in general that you could think of, Rob. Anything that you want to share?
Well, some things that we haven't done yet that we're going to test out really soon, more on my end, is going to be the conversion rate optimization.
Cool.
So we've got one main page that's about 40% of the traffic, and we kind of got some good advice from someone on conversion rate optimization, and we're going to kind of test it out. And we've got so much earnings and traffic coming to that page that it wouldn't be crazy based on what we're told that we could increase it by 30, 40, 50% just by making some tests and stuff like that.
Yeah. And it looks super cool to like get in and actually test the stuff. There's enough traffic to the page. I mean, does the page still get over like, 1,500, 2,000 visitors a day, right?
Yeah, I think that's the range.
Okay. So it's like probably within a couple days we could run a test. I have no idea, but like I assume within a couple days you could run a test with that volume of traffic and have meaningful data. So it may only take, a month or so to like run through like a lot of different tests.
And if you if you take it with the top 2 or 3 pages and you find something that's consistently, like without question, something that's going to increase your earnings, your conversions, you can just make that something you run on all your niche sites. So I'm excited to try that with other sites, other pages, et cetera. Yeah. So
is it okay if we share who we talked to for the CRO stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know his last name, so you could just intro him and I'll link him up.
Yeah. Kurt. Kurt was Matt's business partner.
Matt Diggity.
Matt Diggity, yeah. So he's a guru at conversion rate optimization, and he was nice enough to give us a consultation, and we're going to implement his stuff.
Yeah.
And
super interesting. And like when it comes down to it, it was just all around like not making assumptions about what will work and not work. I know I've done that. I'll take a look at someone's site and just say, oh, you should put a picture here and put a button there and like do this and it'll probably help. But who knows? Because every niche is different. Every site is different. So you can't really assume that it will work. You have to test it. And he recommended, was it the Visual Website Optimizer? Was that right?
Yeah, that was the main one. There was one other one, but I think he liked this one better.
Okay. So, those tools enable you to pretty much, test A versus B. And my understanding most of the time is like your tests don't tell you anything, but the ones that do are worthwhile and you should implement them. And then it enables you to, test a button versus like a text call to action, or a wide picture versus like a half width picture, stuff like that. Who knows what difference it'll make, but it's something that, the amount of traffic, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Even a 10 or 15, 20% gain is still meaningful to us. So
yeah. And then compounded over and over again will be huge. So,
right.
All right. So I guess we could start wrapping it up. I think, there'll be more to come. I think we were actually just speaking before we hit record, and I think one of the big takeaways is we want to like finish the project as soon as possible, right? Like we want to knock it out, get this baby for
Sell
sale.
this thing.
Yeah. So that's definitely, it's going to shape, how I'm going to be working like over the next couple months. This is definitely, I mean, by the time we sell it, it could be almost a year-long project that we've been working on, but hopefully it'll be before that. But a big ticket item, maybe on the market for a little while. People want to kick the tires and see what's going on. But luckily, we've been keeping really good records, and it'll be very cool to show. Here's all our new links. They're all clean guest posts. They look great, and that sort of thing. So. Cool. Well, thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. It's good working with you, and yeah, it's been fun so far.
Likewise. Thanks for having me on, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be the hey, we're selling the site now thing.
Woohoo!
So yeah, if you're interested in a very cool site that's making good money, send me an email and we could talk. All right. Rob, take it easy. Cheers. Have a good night.
Cheers.
And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.